Welcome to the first day of Summerween. It's technically Saturday here, but because of the time zones, it's still technically the first day of Summerween, so I'm gonna treat it as such. For this morning, I am gonna start with the shorter books in my TBR. If you haven't watched my TBR, I'll leave a link in the description box. I think I'm gonna start by checking out the first chapters of Walking Practice and Pen Pal. These are the two shortest books in my TBR. I think they're both under like 230 pages or something. I am a little bit biased towards Walking Practice just because it's a more recent buy. My interest in it is still fresh, but Pen Pal has been on my TBR for a while and I was intrigued by this, and I have seen like good reviews. The first chapter of Pen Pal was pretty much a prologue where the narrator was talking to us, the reader, about memories, about how memories are so fragile in a sense that you don't really remember everything to the full extent of the actual experience. And sometimes, even though that experience made you so happy or so sad, just extreme emotions, it doesn't mean that you're going to remember it later on. And sometimes forgetting and remembering is like a gift that we give ourselves. So, for example, if you have a loved one that passed away, sometimes you tend to insert that person into memories where they can't really have been there, but then at the same time, because you want more time with that person, it feels like a gift. Like altering your memory in that way feels like a gift. On the other hand, forgetting something traumatic, forgetting something that made you feel negatively is also a gift. He's trying to piece together his history, his past, through all of these fuzzy memories that may or may not be altered. He's trying to like talk to his mother and figure out like what goes where in his like timeline of life. And I don't know why we want to find out about his history. I don't know if anything happened to him, but I am intrigued. The writing is a lot more reflective than it is like descriptive, where we were focused more on the concept of memories, of remembering and forgetting, as opposed to like setting the scene, giving us a time period or giving us a location. I'm not sure if that's just, the prologue because it's a more reflective prologue, but so far I'm really enjoying the writing style.
I'm waiting for the curtain call, 'cause I want it all, anyway at all. Thought I missed it by waiting for the game respond, for the lost and found, for the home alone.
I haven't actually finished the first chapter of Walking Practice because the first chapter is this long. It's almost half the book. So I think I'm just gonna tell you what I feel about this first before I read further. So I've read about 14 pages, and this one very descriptive and also talking to us, the readers. So both books that I picked up are talking to us. I don't know what that's about. But anyway, in Walking Practice, we are following this alien? Yeah, an alien. As the alien is describing herself, my mind just went to Grimer, like the Pokemon that like looks like a sludge slithering around, because that is how she's sort of describing. I think she eats humans and then maybe inhabits their bodies. I don't know. I haven't gotten that far yet, but that's like what I thought was happening. So anyway, she's just talking about how hungry she is and how she needs to meet up with this guy because I'm assuming that's the next body that this alien is gonna try to inhabit. They met online, and all that she knows about this guy is that he is a fairly good-looking 27-year-old male, height 173 centimeters, weight 65 kilograms, and an 8-inch cock. Thank you for that information, I suppose. She is on public transportation. She's at the train and she's talking about how it's so hard when you're hungry because she's having a hard time concentrating on keeping the human form. It is so descriptive, and I can imagine that that is gonna be the tone of the rest of the book. And she's talking about having some tools in her 10-kilogram hiking backpack that she's lugging around to meet up with this guy who I'm assuming wants to just hook up with her. And I'm just thinking, what are the tools in there? And what do you need those for? And I can just, imagine.
I'll let you in, it ain't a sin with all these simulations. She'll be fake smile, will take a while to get rid of. I'm sorry, no, we can't see the good that we had, Jenny. I won't let my feelings play again.
I've just been watching Off Campus the whole day. Like, the whole day. I mean, I'm happy. I like it. Belmont Cameli's voice is doing things to me.
Wellsy.
And I'm just enjoying. I'm having fun. Good thing I have reading sprints right now with Pam. So I can definitely read my book. And I feel like I can finish it during our sprint. So I'm just getting ready for that. It's gonna start in like 15 minutes. And by getting ready, I mean just brushing my hair. Because I just showered. Putting on some skincare. I don't really get ready just because I could not be bothered to wear makeup when I'm just at home. It's just gonna be skincare for me. And we're sprint ready. I beg your fucking pardon?
The sun is rising high as I walk on by your house today.
I am eating salad, so hopefully there's no leaf lettuce on my teeth. I have just finished the very long first chapter of walking practice, which is this much, almost half of the book. What the fuck am I reading? Oh, what have I gotten myself into? How do I describe this book? Okay, I'm gonna try. In walking practice, we're following an alien. The alien doesn't have a name, doesn't seem to have like a gender, as humans know gender. So right now we'll call her a she because she is currently inhabiting a female form. So this alien in the beginning of the book is commuting to meet up with a date. But as she is commuting, she is describing to us in great detail how her body, the body that she's inhabiting, is disintegrating. Like, she's talking about the eye socket sliding, like stuff poking out of her sides, her toes getting mushed together into one, just because of how things are shifting in her body because she is hungry. So apparently when she's hungry, she has less energy to maintain the figure that she is in, because this alien, she can't handle gravity, and that is what's weighing her down. She's literally melting onto the floor, and she's just keeping it together, keeping things tight with sheer willpower. So she's going to this guy's house, but the guy lives on the 16th floor and the elevator is broken. So now we've got this alien who's already melting, already disintegrating, trying to climb up 16 flights of stairs. And the way that the alien describes what's happening to the body that she's in is just so horrific. Oh, and by the way, everything is written in such a way that the alien is talking to us. The alien often says stuff like, "Dear reader, I'm sorry I made you wait," stuff like that. So we're in this conversation. Why the alien is hooking up? Well, the aliens got to eat, So I will let you figure that out on your own. So far, I am enjoying it. I'm really liking it despite how gruesome it is. There was this part here where the alien was, at the end of the day, after all the dates that the alien has been in, she's trying to relax and, freshen up. And the way that the alien freshens up is I should not be eating while reading this book, but I have to eat, so not the best combination. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I can definitely see the different topics that the author is trying to touch by way of this alien's experience of humans. Things like gender, very early on. There was a part here where the alien was talking about how humans are so obsessed with gender, with trying to categorize a person to a specific gender. The alien was also being cheeky by saying, "You're wondering, what I am, right? You're wondering if I'm a male or female. And it just shows how obsessed humans are at assigning value, assigning rights to a person based on their gender. It was an interesting way to go about that topic. I have no idea what we're gonna get up to because this entire thing that I read was just a day in this alien's life of just trying to find food and survive. Just know that I'm enjoying it. This feels to me kind of like a literary horror type of book. It's scary, but it's more of like unsettling. I have about 12 minutes to update you, but I just finished walking practice and that was so good. It was actually so good. Is this a 5-star? I'm hesitant to tell you anything more about this just because it's a short story. I have given you everything that you needed to know before picking up this book. So just take my word for it and know that it is so good. This is definitely speculative fiction, a little bit of horror, but also very queer. Similar to how I feel when I read Elmer by Jerry Elangilan, where the main character is a chicken. It's kind of the same. The main character here is an alien, but because we are viewing the world from his point of view, we are seeing the things that is weird, that is odd, that the humans do just because they've always done it and not because it makes any sense. Oh, I'm so glad that I read this for the first book of Summerween. Definitely pick it up if you like speculative fiction, especially the ones that sort of hide this very biting social commentary. 5 stars, first book of Summerween, and we got a 5-star. Okay, we finished the first book of Summerween. It's dark, I know, but I need to pick the next book. So this is my TBR shelf, and these are the books that I was planning on reading for Summerween. So I don't know what to pick up next. Should I start Japanese Gothic? Oh, such a pretty book. I think I'm gonna go for. I think I'm gonna go for Murder Road. Yeah, I'm gonna try this out and see if I like it, and then if not, I'm just gonna switch to a different one. I have like 5 minutes. I need to get back to the sprint. So I have Murder Road. I don't know. I'm not super duper excited to read this, so I thought it's the perfect thing to read on sprint so that I can sort of really not force myself but like be encouraged to read it. So no clue what this is about. All I know is that a lot of people don't like it. This is an Evernight book. It's so pretty. It's so stunning. Like that's the back cover. You've got like, look at that. It looks like a map for like a campsite or like a small town called Cold Lake Falls. The inside has this very retro looking comic thing. And it's so pretty. It's so cute. Let's see, what is this about? April and Eddie have taken a wrong turn. And now they're on a long dark road late at night when they see a woman up ahead, clearly in trouble. They stop and pick her up. It's only once she's in the car that they see the blood, and then headlights appear in the distance, racing towards them at speed. And at long last, the woman speaks. I'm sorry, he's coming. Okay. Okay, not sure if there's like a weird, not serial killer, but like someone's haunting this road, the murder road, I suppose, and people have died in this road and they get stuck in Cold Lake Falls, which is a small town. So damn right. So I've read the first chapter of Murder Road. I forgot what it was called. It was okay. It was basically the synopsis of the book, and the writing is fine. I think it's gonna be fast to read because the font size is humongous. So you know what? I think I'm gonna just stick with it and see how I feel about it. This is gonna be for the prompt where I have to read a book with pink on the cover. You know how that has pink in there? Even the actual cover is pink, so I think it actually works out well for that prompt, so I'm just gonna read this one. Hopefully I like it, but if not, at least I know. At least I know, and maybe I can pass this along to someone else. Okay, my desk is so messy, but let's ignore that. It is day 2, day 2 of Summerween. So last night during Sprints with Pam, I did finish walking practice, which I told you about, and I started reading Murder Road by Simone St. James. So I am currently on page 64 of the book, and it's okay so far. I think I am gonna finish it just because I really want to get this off of my TBR, but I'm not the most like excited about it, if you will. That sounds so bad, but anyway, in this book we are following a newly wedded couple, Eddie and April, and they are driving towards their honeymoon location, which is gonna be this cabin that they're gonna spend 5 days in. They're just gonna chill, have a lot of fun, lots of cuddling. But on the way to their honeymoon spot, they get a little bit lost. It's dark and they took a wrong turn somewhere, and as they were driving this long stretch of like seemingly empty road, they spot like a little boy, or what seems like a boy but is actually a woman, and she seems to be dazed, looks a little bit drunk, they're not quite sure. Basically, she looks like she needed help, so they stopped for a bit and asked her if she needed a ride somewhere. She reluctantly gets into the car. She wasn't sure if she wanted to, but she did. And they found out that she actually has like a big wound on her stomach and she's like bleeding out. So they rush her to the nearest like town, which is Cold Lake Falls. This one, Cold Lake Falls. Unfortunately, she is dead on arrival, and now Eddie and April, instead of being at their honeymoon cabin, they are kind of the prime suspects in the death of this woman. There's a lot of questions, a lot of small town mystery questions, and I am like a little bit intrigued. It's just that the writing style is just meh. It's words on a page, so it's not like pulling me in. But hopefully, as I get deeper and deeper into the plot, deeper and deeper into the mystery, hopefully I get more sucked into it. Okay, I just finished my workout and now I'm getting some dinner prep. I have some chicken in the oven. I'm boiling some broccoli, some frozen broccoli. Very exciting. And I just wanted to update you about my book, which I need to grab. So I am more than halfway through Murder Road by Simone St. James, and it's okay. It's more like a mystery than a horror or thriller book. We're trying to figure out what happened to this lost girl that seems to be haunting the Atticus Road, the Murder Road, and we're investigating all of the deaths that happened in that road. And it's just a lot of them asking around, researching newspapers. Our couple seems to have some secrets in their past, and we're slowly like discovering things, but nothing is really surprising, and it's not thrilling at all. I don't know. It's just okay. It's just the book. It feels like a B-rated horror thriller movie when it's not really horror, it's not really thriller. I finished Murder Road last night and it was just meh. It was meh. I'm gonna give it 1.5 stars. There was really just nothing here that worked for me. The writing was just not my style. It didn't give me anything. It felt like it was just a matter of fact, this is what happened. It didn't add any atmosphere to the book. It didn't give me any thrills while I was reading it, and it was so repetitive and not in a stylistic way. The book keeps repeating the same facts that we know about the characters in this again and again and again, as if we already forgotten it. Like, after 20 or so pages. So it was just really cumbersome to read. It wasn't thrilling at all. The resolution of everything was too neat to the point that it was so boring. And yeah, I didn't really like this one. I didn't like this one. So I'm gonna give it 1.5 stars. So definitely gonna be unhauling this some point this year. But with that, we are closing off this first vlog, day 1 and day 2 of Summerween. So I read two very like polar opposite books. This one was a 5-star read, and then this one is 1.5. The drama of being in such a high, and then it all comes crashing down. That is the first 2 days of Summerween. I'm gonna start the vlog now for day 3 and 4. Hopefully your first 2 days of Summerween had more highs than lows. I am so excited for the next book that I'm gonna be reading, but for that you'll have to tune into my day 3 and 4 vlog. So I'll see you then. Bye!